Since we're going to be swapping over the engines into the CRV, I went ahead and I took the valve cover off of the original motor, the V20, and what I'm going to do is strip it. Aircraft paint remover is really well. I used it multiple times. Make sure you're well ventilated. This stuff is just awful, and you want to make sure you're wearing a mask and have all your safety precautions in place. So basically I just kind of poured it on there and like moved it around so that way it was touching. It says not to use a thin layer, so I just kind of gooped it up as best I could as I was moving it around in order to make sure I got all the surfaces, you know, kind of thinned out. So I'll let this set up for about 15-20 minutes. I'll come out, I'll probably move it around a little bit more, and then as I do that, the paint will start coming off on its own. With that, you can actually kind of see it bubbling up already, and I literally just applied this before I started the video. So I'll continue that, and then once it is all the way off, we'll go ahead and use power washer and power wash the rest of it off, and anything that's like left on there, maybe I can just do a little bit of spot treatments, and then from there we will clean it all up. We'll use a really, like, basically like an alcohol, probably use a denatured alcohol. We'll clean the surface of it really well so that way it's nice and clean, and then we're going to apply the wrinkle paint to it, and then I'm going to go with red to give it that Honda look. And the cover on the actual motor right now I had cut out to be able to access the timing gear, since they are adjustable. So once we get it tuned up and everything, and all the settings are in place and locked in, then I'll just go ahead and put this one on in its place, and then that way nothing is exposed and cannot get down into the timing cover. And that way we can try to make sure that nothing stupid happens of getting inside that timing belt area, since it will be daily driven at that point. So stay tuned. So the instructions say to let it sit for about 45 minutes, and we can actually see that it is bubbling up like it called for. Since I didn't put it on there very thick on some areas, I want to see what actually happens once we power wash it and go from there, and then we'll do our touch-ups after that. After power washing it, you can see like most of it came off. Where it was heavy, where it was kind of thin, it still stayed on there pretty good. When I was blowing it off with compressed air, it was still flaking off, so this stuff works really great. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just go back and I'll touch it up, and I'll just make sure I really gob it on there, basically where it still sits, and then we'll let it sit for another 45 minutes and do it all over again until we get it completely clean. And then I think what will happen is I want to polish the Honda Motor Company, so I'll get that really nice and shiny and everything, and then before I paint it, so that way I don't chip the paint after doing it. So the touch-up has been sitting on there, I don't know if like half hour, 40 minutes. And so it's hard to like get it on the sides in order to keep it gooped up. So I'm hoping that it will get this vertical sides right there. It does look like it started to peel up on this side, so that's good. So yeah, then I'll get this all power washed off, get it cleaned up, and then we'll see what it looks like afterwards. Oh yeah, nice. Man, this stuff. So I ended up using a whole bottle of it. I guess maybe if I was to do it over again, I would just do the entire bottle and get a little applicator brush that works a little bit better than the rag. And that way I could just really kind of goop it on there and get it down in the little cracks and crevices and on the sides that I need it to, and be able to come back and push the extra that you can see like got down into the valley here in order to you know, just keep it going. So that's what I might recommend if you're gonna try to do this project instead of doing multiple coats. Power wash is completed. And as you can see, it got most of it off there. Again, like I said, it's kind of hard to get it to goop up, but where I was able to get it to go on there and stay, it did pretty good. You can kind of see like it's still there on that guy. So what I think I might do is I'll try hitting it with a, what is it, a Scotch pad type thing, or Barilla pad, and just try to take as much off as I can in order before I paint it, and we'll just kind of go from there. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and then I'll show you the completed project once we get it all prepped and ready for paint.